matata hayo tahayo ukholo lwami ndonyuka nalo ndonyuka ngilubambe ngesandla ngiyongena nalo hayo matata hayo tahayo modimo halite. Amen. Ya, siyaqala manje ngithi. Ngizoqala ngokuqala ngomthandazo. I would like to call upon our Fadilatu Sheikh Captain Qari Mujahid to come and give qira'ah on Surah Al-Fatiha, and then I will give the translation in isiZulu, inshallah. Tafaddal, Ustad. Umfundisi wethu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم ملك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Egameni likamvelinqangi onomusa onesihawu. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Udumo makube ku Allah umdali nomondli wamazwe onke. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim onomusa onesihawu. Maliki yawmiddin mbusi wosuku lokwahlulela. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Uwe kuphela esimkhonzayo futhi uwe wedwa esicela usizo. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Soholele endleleni eqondile. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayri al-maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Indlela yalabo obehlisela umusa wakho ingabi indlela yalabo ebehlela ulaka lwakho noma labo ebedukayo. Amen. Manje sizoqala umkhankaso wethu inshallah. And firstly, I would like to call upon our Honorable Deputy Minister to come out, but I would like the community to welcome President of Al Jamaa, our current Deputy Minister in the Government of National Unity, the Deputy Minister of Social Development. Ahlan wa sahlan. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So ashu mungaritaba. Oh, we also welcome our Honorable Councillor Larato Mcharini Zata. You know, mauzwa social grant it twinkling. Hey, umnikazi wendawula. My 350 twinkling. Umnikazi wendawula. Umdende mauti. Umnikazi wendawula. So really, it's really an honor and privilege to welcome you to our community. We have here a mix of everyone. We have community leaders. We have youth in the community who are very active. We have the elderlies, and we have all our beneficiaries as well. Others are on their way. They are coming. So we really thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Thank you. Manje, I would like to call upon our MC. So we're going to have two MCs. The first MC is our mother, Umama Wetu, Sakina Muhammad. And I think by the time before she starts to speak, she should give us a bit of a background because some of us are not even qualified to give a background. Sakina has always been our mother, has always made sure Uguti, the NPOs in the community, they stick to the compliance with her experience of many years, which she will talk about all the way from many organizations. She will come and talk about that, inshallah. Mam Sakina, this is our first MC, and our second one is our honorable leader and the people's social worker, Ubabu Kifilo na Nyamshaeleni Zandla. Ubabu Kifilo, you'll know he's always around. Nkala kutinishale Zandla, Mam Sakina, uye zamanje. Bismillah. Let me help you adjust that one. Yes. I thought everybody's told.
Yeah, no, of course, you know. Some of us are well challenged. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Apsheni. Ashe. Ninjani. So, my name is Sakina Muhammad. So, and then also in English. So my name is Sakina Muhammad. Before this place became the masjid, we, myself and Abdul Rahim and Abdul Rahim's mom, walked the talk to actually get this established. And my working in government and in non-government organization has given me the ability to actually work within communities. So I've always, whether I was in government or in non-government organizations, I've always worked with communities. So my expertise lie in actually working with women and children. So I've worked with GBV, and then I've also worked with children. So based on that, I think I am well positioned to be able to talk today and actually lead this process with all of our people right here. In order for people to actually remember, we don't want to go back. We've been 30 years in a democracy, but in that 30 years, there was a lot of things that we needed to work towards to fix things. Akere, things were not right. They were only for certain people. So we had to work and work through to get to where we are today so that we provide equality for everybody. So based on that, I am then going to call upon and we do have a program. So best you don't think that we don't have a program. Abdul Rahim, you did send me here's the program. So I am now going to call upon Mpho, right? Exactly. Mpho. Oh, Kifilo first. Right, in Miss Kifilo. Oh, okay. All right, where is it? So I must do the welcome. He'll do the opening and welcome. So we are working in partnership. Kifile, you just need to welcome people. Exactly.
Dumela. Legai. Everything. Greetings to our honorable guests, Baba Linting, Council of the Muslim community that is here. Ke dumedise le setjhaba sa rona sa mo Winterveldt, ba kopane le mabopane Soshanguve, Harankua, and all other surrounding areas. Ke re matla mo bathong ba rena. Le amohetswe mo tsatsing la kajeno. Nna ka lebitso ke nna ke Filwe Ramutla. Ke tswa ke le Childline Gauteng. I've been here for more than 7 years. Ke le mo community ya Winterveldt. Re berekisana le batho ba Winterveldt. Re berekisana le Winterveldt Youth Development Center. Mereko o re irang mo, it has proven to be big mo Winterveldt. Ba bang ba itse ka bana ba lona ba eleng hore today ba employed, ba ba tswang mo matsohong a rona. Ba bantsi ba lona ba itse ka bana ba lona ba eleng hore they have established the businesses, ba ba tswang mo matsohong a rona. Mereko a rena o sa lo montsi mo Winterveldt, but ke leboga ha ke bona batho ba tlile ba tlo tshwarisana hore re kgone ho fenya mmereko ona. Ka seo ke ra hore batho ba modimo as ba botlhe re kopane mo re kopantshitse ke community. Ke a le amohela. Letsatsi la kajeno le tlo ba letsatsi le leng hore re tlo engage as the community, and our guests that are here by leng hore their major interest is in social services. Akere ke tsa hore ba botlhe ba tlile mo le tlile ho na le se le setletseng. Today ke tshepa hore ha re tloha mo everyone o tlo tloha mo a kreile se ne a se tletse. Ha se padile today, nna ke mo Monday to Friday. Ha o mpatla wa nkreya. O no fitla mo wa re ke khopela abuti ola wa social worker o mo pila. Ke nna ke le one. Ka hona o mo. Ke a leboga. So, ere ke le tlotleleng. Baholo. Okay. There we go. Ere ke tlo le tlotlela hanyane fela ka sentse re sira. A ke re ke le boditse hore ke na le 7 years ke le mo Winterveldt mo. Ke no re fela hanyane ka se re sirang mo Winterveldt. In collaboration le Winterveldt Masjid. E leng yona center le mo yona e ya Winterveldt Youth Development Center. The biggest thing entseng re hira mo ke youth development. Re na le bana ba borona ba re ntseng le bona mo mahaeng mo. Ba bang ba bona ba feditse dikolo, but ba ntse hae. Ba bang ba bona unfortunately ke ba le ba ileng hore ba decidile hore no, nna ke a pallwa ko sekolong a nna hae. Yes. And for nako entseng re le mo for bana bao, we have been trying to say, what are we going to do with these kids? Because them being at home and not doing anything, they end up being exposed to the very things that ratang hore re di fedise mo community ya rona. I am talking about drug abuse. Ke dilo tse tshwantse re di fedise mo community. I am talking about the crime e tletseng mo community. You know where we are from. O phaka koloi mola ha o tswa ha ena mabili. A tsere ke mang? It's not somebody who's coming from a far area. It is the same kids that we are with here mo Winterveldt. So we are trying by all means to bring these kids closer so that we can help them. Because the fact that this child is doing what they are doing is because there's an underlying problem. We have social workers in here. They can attest to this. Ahona ngwana o abelehwang e le tsotsi. Ahona ngwana o abelehwang e le mmolai, or a rapist for that matter. Those things, these were somewhere. So when we came into this community, the first thing that we did, we wanted to identify all of those problems, right? And then we took a team that is started with like 30 people when I came here, and now has risen up to 300 of these people, and most of them are coming from this very same community. Now, we took a team of these people and we went into the depths of Winterveldt, conducting what we call a risk assessment. This risk assessment, in questions on it. Mo re tsamayang re botsisa ngwana ka bophelo ba gae, ka bophelo ba ko gae. How are they coping with life? What is happening in school? Or if they are not in school, why are they not in school? And then that is when we realize that we have a shortage of resources as a community. Our kids, a lot of them, but there are things that are coming in their way. And all these things were realized in this risk assessment that we perform in the community. Currently, we are sitting at about 83,000 of young people on our database that we need to see what are we going to do with these kids. Most of them are coming from poverty-stricken homes. Most of them are not even in homes. They are street kids because they left their homes because of gender-based violence. Hona le abuse ko ntlong. Ngwana o tswile hae, hana kwa robalang ko teng. O tlohetse sekolo because hana ditlhako tsa sekolo. All those things we realize from these assessments tse re di etsang mo community. And I for laitse ba ba nnang around, you have seen our people ba tsamaya ka dipampitshana mo ba bolela o ba engage le community, right? And then from that we have realized from these risk assessment forms, the problems that we have as a community, we also have the power to fix those problems. We are sitting here with community leaders, people who are running development centers like this one. All they need is manpower. All they need is resources to take that child from a poverty-stricken home and run computer literacy classes, run other services, programs that we have, they are aimed at developing these kids mentally. Some of these kids, as I said, they're coming from gender-based violence gender-based violence filled homes. And then they come into the society with that mentality that, you know what, as a man, I have the power to abuse women. That's the mentality they have. But with the programs that we run here, we are aimed at refining that mentality. A man has the power over a woman. We positively encourage these kids. We positively grow these kids, because otherwise, what would help if we take this child and put them in a place of employment, but in here, it's only a matter of time that child will be chased away from work. It's only a matter of time they will be back in the street. So we have social workers here who, it's their duty to help these young kids, to know what is their social problems, to know how is their households where they come from, and then they come in aid of that. Poverty, we have organizations that we have partnered with. We can easily refer these kids to those organizations to say, these people are coming from poverty-stricken homes. What do we do? What help can you provide? And the masjid also has been of very great help to that with the food parcels. The community knows that. Is that not so? Community? No. So now what we are just saying to the community today is that the miracle o munti o batla matsogo a rona as community. Bana ba le ba itseng ba ntse hae ba romeleng kamo, because that is where they are going to get help. But it takes a community, right? Ngwana le he se wa hao, mara kono mmotsa hore there is a help in there. Ngwana mo kara mo shopong a ntse fela ba tsuba dinyaopetse tsa bona. wa mo tseya ka letsogo, you say, come to this place, there is help for you. Ngwana, I can guarantee you, they are going to leave this place very well developed. And then when that child is well developed, even the generations that come after that child will be well developed. Again, ka seo ke re ke tsona tse re dirang mo Winterveldt Masjid mo in this center. Ke a leboga. Ke tlo re at this present time, we are going to be calling Ms. Mpho Kitama, Acting Director General, the Community Development, who will introduce the minister. Ms. Mpho, re ka mo amohela ka matsoho a futhumetseng.
Ke a leboga Program Director. Dumelang. Assalam alaikum. I learned something new today. Abshen. Dimachiron. Khuyemore. Sanbonan. Remo South Africa ger. Rabulela, Rabua, Rapa, Kaufelator. So I'm here. Let me just begin by thanking the community for invited social development. This is the government for the people, and we listen when people call out for help. Again. Okay, now in my previous life, I was a teacher. So you know, I'm Mr. Saimikapeli, Ramamela ger. So alone, because I'm going to introduce the Minister of Social Development. Hi, Mamona. What has he accomplished? Who is he? And what is it that pushed him to do what he's doing, so that we appreciate and acknowledge and we are in good hands with our leadership. Let me greet the DM and the leadership as a whole. So the name of our Minister of Social Development is Mr. Mohammed Ganief Hendriks. He is the man who was born in District 6 in Cape Town, right? History at District 6 again. He was born and raised in District 6, and currently he's the leader of the Al Jamaa Party, which he founded. And because of his will and strong passion for what he does, the work has earned him a seat in Parliament. So as a Deputy Minister, I think we can expect great things to come from him again. He's got a history of the struggle in South Africa. From a young age, he's been active in communities, he's been active in politics. He was the leader of the Free Mandela campaign. When Tata Mandela was in jail, he was campaigning for his release again. And he was appointed as a Vice Chancellor of the Forum for Black Journalists because of his work. And thereafter, he joined, he was the Secretary General of the Union for Workers with Sensory Disabilities. So there's a history of commitment and work that he has achieved. When he retired, he did a pro bono work for the union. He's a lawyer by profession, by the way. So he did a pro bono work for the union by securing provident fund for for people with disabilities. Amidst all of this, he demonstrated his skills as a sports person in rugby. Let's come Mona Lisa again. He has played rugby. So he has played cricket, table tennis, chess and athletics. So as a young person, he was very active. No, let's come on, he's been in the game. And he took over and as a cricket manager in the non-racial sports union. And with the passage of time, he moved on to become the national industrial relations specialist at Nestle, the company Riralangmash. And then he founded he was the founder and human resource director of MWeb. We know MWeb when internet started in South Africa. So he was one of the founders. These are big achievements. And since then, he has also passion in media. So he is a multi-skilled leader in politics, in sports, and in everything that would uplift the community. And that is why when we were invited here, he took a call to come and listen to the community. As a Minister of Social Development, he was appointed during the GNU. President Ramaphosa invited him to be the Deputy President of Social Development. So his work and passion as a community leader is still there, and he is committed to doing that. That's why we are here today. Kitsenaki teacher. Since he was appointed as a deputy minister, he has accomplished some of the projects. One of the projects in Kofimbaba in the Eastern Cape, which is being implemented right now in the Eastern Cape, where they're dealing with peanut butter. And I think from today, I guess he might start another project here in Winterveldt, but I don't know. We'll see, we'll hear. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all stand up and welcome our Honorable Deputy Minister, Ganief. PM. You can take the stage, DM. I get it, DM.
Okay. Deputy Minister, I think I knew only 5%, just 5% of who you were, but I'm really impressed by the introduction. Shukran. So all we wanted to do is just to introduce the Deputy Minister, and then all the other speakers are going to come, and then inshallah you'll speak at the last as our keynote address, inshallah. Aw nyancela marawaini senza soma. Phamwe TV. Nipizi niyafafaza lapha emuva nizangixolela. Angazi ukuthi yini engake niyikhulumayo edlula lezi ezikhulunyiwa lapha phambili. Anithuleni ngiyacela tu. Anithuleni hawu ningasenzi so. If ufuna ukukhuluma phuma nabangani bakho niyohleba le ngaphandle. Hawu. Hayi khona. Nisakhuluma namanje. Ene ngiyakhuluma bona uyakhuluma nangu. Usakhuluma nawe. Mara anizwa lento le yini engaka oyizele la ebaluleke kakhulu enikhulumayo lapha emuva. Hawu ningasenzi njalo. Hayi phambi kwe-TV. Hawu nizaxoxa indaba zenu le ngaphandle. Mawuze la fanele uthebele umthetho wala. Sinabavakashi la. Ningazosihlaza. Ngiyacela. Ngiyabonga. Now we'll call upon Umam Sakina to call the next speaker, inshallah. Ngiyacela ene nisakhuluma futhi. Mina angazi ukuthi mawufuna ukukhuluma ngicela uye ngaphandle ngoba udisturba thina abanye sifuna ukuzwa ukuthi kuthiwani la. Ngoba thina kithi kubalekile lokho okukhulunyiwa la. If akubalekanga kuwe ungaphumela ngaphandle wayokhuluma nabangani. Siyabonga.
The next speaker is Dr. Tahir Sitoto. Please come through. Please, because then the people in the front can't hear, because the people at the back is talking and having their own meeting there. So if you are having your own meeting, we'd ask you to please go outside. Thank you. Dr. Sitoto, the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات egameni lika Allah solufefe uNkulunkulu mvelingangi. As always, we invoke the name of Allah, the ever compassionate, the ever merciful, our sustainer and nourisher, one through whom things impossible are made possible, the one who has made it possible for this gathering to take place. The Honorable Deputy Minister, His Excellency, Mr. Ganief Hendriks, senior government officials that are present, Ms. Mpom Mutima, Ms. Lilium Swane, and many others. To save time, Chairperson, I will not mention everyone. Let me say all protocols observed. I greet you all with the universal greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Bula. Uktulak benani. Machirowani. How appropriate that this masjid, this place, is called Umvelingangi Mosque, a place of worship dedicated to the worship of the ever compassionate and ever merciful God. But as we have heard from Kefilwe, Babu Kefilwe, that this masjid understands what we call the sociality of the self, that prior divorced from society is meaningless. And therefore this masjid has been in many ways a masjid, a place that also belongs to the community. I'm standing here, Deputy Minister and esteemed guests, not to preach. It is not my intention to take and usurp the role of our imams and shuyukhs. I have no intention to do so. I was given a mandate to articulate a quest, the need and vision of those that are assembled here, mainly those that are affiliated to the South African Muslim Council. I reluctantly accepted to speak here because in recent years I've stayed away from power. But fortunately, I was persuaded to be here because fortunately or unfortunately, the minister who is here is known to us. You have in the deputy minister someone whose pulse is not in the trappings of the palace, but on the ground with those whom Frantz Fanon called the wretched of the earth, Mustadafin in the language of the Quran, field Negroes in the language of Malcolm X. I'm making these opening remarks not to pontificate or score some cheap points. As we celebrate over 30 years of democracy, we continue to look into the horizon for that society that still be called a society with a humanly smiling face. And yet, can we say that our societies are human and smiling? Dr. Kefilwe has articulated some of the challenges and problems that confront our society, our communities. I shall not repeat them. And so it warms our hearts to see a government ministry. I repeat, it warms our heart to see a government ministry that is coming closer reaching out to the people, not during election time. Not during election time, but during ordinary time, to be an ear and take the people's concern seriously. It has already been said that we need a mutual contract. I call it a mutual contract because government and organs of civil society as social partners, such as groups as this masjid and others, need to forge common mutual links to translate government programs into real, tangible programs that can bring about qualitative change in the communities. We come, therefore, not as a problem stretching a begging bowl. We come as responsible social partners, as part of concerned citizens to offer working solutions in partnership with caring departments such as the current one, led by, amongst others, Deputy Minister. Yes, admittedly, government has resources, but as community, we have the human and social capital to ensure change happens and lives are impacted in our communities. It is not enough to pontificate and say things are not right. We also need to take ownership and say, what is it that we can do in partnership with the government as social partners? Engaged faith communities across the religious divide, Muslims, Christians, and others, engaged faith communities have social capital to ensure that change can happen. And some of the examples that were mentioned regarding the projects that are run in this masjid, in this space, are a testimony to that. We hope, therefore, this is the beginning of a series of mutual exchanges where we can come back from time to time, back to the drawing board to say mutual exchanges that were deliberated upon, have they been implemented? Many a times, government programs fail at the implementation level, and therefore we need checks and balances in forums such as this one. And therefore, Deputy Minister and your entire leadership and staff, we do not take it for granted that we have sacrificed your weekend. We do not take it for granted that at short notice, you say, if we say we are a government of the people, for the people, indeed, when there is a call, we must answer that call. And therefore I repeat, I repeat, we need more government minister like the Deputy Minister, Ganief Hendriks. We need more government minister of such a caliber. How I wish, Councillor, Madam Councillor, how I wish we had more government officials, more, not an exception, but more would take our people's interest very, very seriously, so that we can delete If time permitted, I would have said we need to delete this language of so-called service delivery. A government is not a business. Where did this language of service delivery coming from? And the culture and mindset that is as inculcated in our minds, where we think we must be passive recipients and not exercise our own agency to bring about change. With those words, let me stop here. Or pray that thanks are due to Allah and Allah at all times. Amen.
Thank you, Chair. At this present moment, we will be calling the manager for institutional capacity building for NPOs, who is Miss Lily Swane Kamatsoho Armamoheleng.
Dumelang bagolo, sanbonani, assalamu alaikum. Lebitso la ka ke Lilian Mswane from Social Development, ne? Today ke tlo bolela le lena ka mmereko wa rona ko Social Development under NPO Directorate, ne? Go na le di-organizations mo tse registered e leng di-NPO. Di teng tse ding akere? Re na le tafola kwa ko ntle e thusang ha ile gore le batlo checka akere gore dilo tsa lona di sa tsamaya hantle akere. And then ke batlo rotloetsa le community e leng teng today akere. Akere re uzoyithola kanjani uhlele khoneni. So esimphakathi papa uchilo are tshwantse gore re be community ela e inkelang dilo ka matsogo akere. We must learn to do things ourselves akere. So to start an NPO, it's an organization e leng gore e tlo re thusa akere le rona mo mphakathing akere. So ko NPO Directorate he rona re responsible for registration ya di NPOs, ne? We register the NPOs under the NPO Act. Akere? Le register byang le di NPOs, which are NPO tshwantse gore e submit ko rona constitution ya yona akere. Lona ba le register akere la tsep. Le submit constitution ya lona, le be le submit le application form akere. Le submit ko kae le khona gore le submit ko officing ya lona ya DSD local akere. Or you can submit ko officing ko national office kae ko Pretoria akere. So mo NPO Directorate re na le units akere. Re na le unity e leng gore e dila ka go accept or receive your registration documents akere. Le ge le etsa di changes in your organization, re bitsa our registry unit. Re na le unity e dilang ka go le registera e le fang di certificate akere. And ha ile gore la change akere la tseba akere di committee tsa rona re na le gore batho ba join ba bang ba tsamaya akere. Ka molao tshwantse re retse sure ha ile gore registered under the NPO Act. Tshwantse re retse sure gore ha ile gore gona le motho changeang akere tshwantse re ngwalle the NPO Directorate. Retse sure gore ra mo replace akere. So you submit your documents go NPO register or registry, and then renali unity e leng gore e dila ka go thusa to support
the NPOs, registered NPOs, or NPOs tse leng gore di batla go register ke tse leng gore di batla support capacity building in terms of how to run the organizations tsa bona ke this unity e ke tswang ko yona nna e leng gore re thusa ka gore re etse di workshop ha re etse workshop fela gore really teach ka go register ke re etsa le di workshops gore re raise awareness on the challenges that are happening within the regulatory space and tse leng gore di face the NPOs. So each and every time re na le go tla ko mphakathing re meme mphakathi le lona akere ha le register le rona. It is important gore information ya lona ibe information e leng gore e current akere because ha re le phonela and invite you ko di workshops tsa rona, we must know whether we are inviting the right people like it. So we do have the workshops that we are running for NPOs tse leng gore di batla register or NPOs that are already registered again. Rebelli unity e leng gore e dila ka monitoring and compliance. Bagolo akere ha le registered under NPO Act. You must make sure gore ha le raise the funds le thola tšhelete akere la recorder. And then it is important as an NPO gore o account for each and every cent e leng gore wa e thola akere. So you keep your records at the end of the financial year when Zabiangi o isa ko accounting officer ba leletse a financial report. Okay? So it is very important as an NPO to account for every cent e leng gore la receiver from the donors. Okay? Ntho e tla lefang le lona lebitso le letla ke re ko ditoneng that whatever money you are receiving you are able gore le berekise in a proper manner okay? And it will be able to also invite more funding for lona okay? But if as an NPO you do not submit your reports, unity e ke bolelang ka yone re bitsang monitoring and compliance e ya e tlo le di register okay? So it is important gore let's show gore le submit the report tsa lona okay? Currently we busy ka a deregistration drive. So that's why every registered NPO e leng gore e mo today ke kopa gore le lo check status sa lona ne before le tsamaya to make sure gore dilo tsa lona di tsamaya hantle akere so that if there are any changes we are able to update them now for you. Are we together? And then re na le unit ne e leng gore e dila ka funding colleagues. Unit ya rona e dila ka funding akere la tseba gore social development is partnering with civil society for the services tse leng gore ke tsa social development akere ke di services tse bjang tse leng gore di fundwa ke social development. Re funda the services tsa bonkoko akere your older person services akere re funda the services tsa bana akere the services tsa di families akere re funda HIV and AIDS akere re funda GBV ne so gona di services tse leng gore la di rendera lona mo mphakathing. So it is important as NPOs to look at what social development is funding and try gore le align the services tsa lona ne to social development so that social development can partner with you ne ba kgone go le funda. But the funding process it's a bjang. You have to make sure colleagues gore le tlwaelana le your local DSD officer because call for proposal ya gore ba le fund itswa ko the local or the provincial DSD office. So ha setse ba tseba di services tsa lona, ba tseba hore mo this organization ya Masjid, they are caring for the aged. I get it will be easy for ba partner le lona and then ba kgone go le funda. I get so ke kopa gore let's show gore you familiarize yourself with your local DSD office. And if there are any questions, colleagues, because bamphile nakonyana e nyane 15 minutes fela ke if there are any further questions ka NPO, desk ya rona e teng mo le montle, you can come and ask any question, ne? Ke a leboga gagolo.
All right. May we please welcome on the floor from the department that has sustained a lot of families, Kamachankura. Can we have a representative from SASA? I'm missing the name here. A representative from SASA who's here. Oh, we have Mr. Dawood on the floor. Thank you, Mama Healing.
Thank you, Program Director. Honorable Deputy Minister, Imam, leadership, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Dumelang. My name is Dawood Hassam. I'm from SASA. Can I lift this mic a little bit? It makes it easier for me to speak. My name is Dawood Hassam from SASA. I'm the customer care coordinator here in the Tshwane district, responsible for, obviously, like I said, customer care and beneficiary maintenance in the district of Tshwane. I would like to first thank you for inviting me to this event and giving me this opportunity to brief you a little bit on the services that are offered by SASA. Let me first start by saying we have two offices in this vicinity of where we are. We have one here in Nafkok for the residents of Soshanguve, and the one in Garankuwa at the Zone 15 Meatworld Shopping Center for the residents of Winterveldt. Excuse me, for the residents of Winterveldt and the residents of Garankuwa itself. The services that we offer is obviously social security related with regard to old age pensions or older persons pensions, where people have to be the age of 60 plus for both male and female. Okay. Then we have what we call a disability grant. If the person is disabled from the age of 18 up until the age of 59. Then we offer the child support grant for children under the age of 18. We have what we call a top-up grant for child-headed households where the parents are deceased or the parents' whereabouts are unknown and the children are being cared for by other children or child-headed, what we know as child-headed households. Then we have a grant in aid. A grant in aid is for people who are receiving either an old age grant or a disability grant, but are disabled in such a way that they are what we know as bedridden. They need a helper in inverted commas to help them to a bathroom, to help them on oxygen, to feed them, to bath them, etc. So what we call a grant in aid. This is an extra top-up grant of 530 Rand over and above your normal social grant that you receive of an older person's grant or a disability grant. We have a war veterans grant that we offer, but in 2025, it's very unlikely that we have war veterans that are still alive that fought in the First World War and the Second World War that we had that ended in the 1940s. With regard to the SRD, we have a social relief of distress. The social relief of distress grant is what we know as the old 350 grant, which has changed now to 370 grant. The 370 grant also but we don't have the applications, or we don't do applications in the offices. Clients are advised to do the applications online or with their smartphones, okay? And when they've completed the applications, they can check the statuses, etc. Should they have any queries regarding that, then obviously they can refer to their local offices or the nearest SASSA offices for further assistance. With regard to the office times, we open from Monday to Fridays from 7:30 to 4 p.m. Right? Like I said, the two offices in this closest vicinity is Soshanguve and Navkok, the shopping center just down the road. And we have Garankua at Meatworld in Zone 15. Honorable guest and people who have invited me, leadership, I would like to thank you. Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Dawood. Now you've heard that also SASSA, especially for the senior citizens, no? You know, you've got your money and it's already spent, isn't it? Le totsi tjhelete, e fedile ha ke re, re lekile grocery la patela mabone. So now re tlo bolela re tlo kopa batho ba NDA, which is the National Development Fund. Batlo re botsa gore bona ba irang. Sorry? Oh, ke Filipina Matiba, sorry.
Dumelang bagolo, le kae? Good days, DM and imams and honorable guests. O eme mo pela lona mona ke Filipina Matima, ke tsamaya le mmereki mmogo wa ka Ntate Mbongo, Lebogang Mbongo. Re tswa re le ko National Development Agency. National Development Agency e fola under Lefapha la Social Development. Rona le SASSA ke re la bona le tshwere ba tshwereng di emblem ele e nyane e blue and white eo ke rona mo. The sister organization ya rona ke SASSA le Social Development. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Ne ke re National Development Agency re fola portfolio A1 rona le SASSA le Department of Social Development. Rona re based ko Johannesburg, but National Development is in all 9 provinces. And for Gauteng, the region is divided into 5 regions. Really, Emi Mona is responsible for the city of Tshwane, the whole of city of Tshwane. And maybe some of you know us, maybe some don't know us, but we've got footprints here, more Winterveldt. And we always pass here not knowing Musebetso Montelu Ntate Kifilo here. So I hope that Lerona will contribute, working together with you here, to the upliftment of the of our community. We do have projects that we have funded. That's what I'm saying. We do have footprints here. We have 5 projects that were funded by the National Development Agency. 2 for GBV, 1 for food security and ECD centers. And we also do a lot of capacity building. Also, you need to be compliant. And Luruna offer the capacity building for NPOs and cooperatives, civil society organizations, so that they must remain compliant and be able to apply for grants in other institutions. I think I'll leave here and my colleague will continue with some of the programs that we are running.
Okay, dumelang hape. Let me start by greeting the Honorable Deputy Minister, Minister Hendriks. Let me also greet the Acting Deputy Director at the Department of Social Development, colleagues from SASSA, and leaders within the Development Center, leaders of civil society organization, and last but not least, I'd like to greet you all, members of the beautiful Winterveldt. And I also want to thank you, colleagues, for making your way here. This is a sign of active citizenry. We are active citizens when we are called upon and we hit to the call and make our way here. I'd like to thank you for that. And for that, I'd like us to clap for ourselves. Can we give ourselves a round of applause? Without wasting time, ke tlo bolela ka di programs tsa NDA. So NDA primarily run funds civil society organizations. So the civil society organizations, ke di organizations tse leng hore di tswa ka mo motseng. Tse re di itseng tse dintsi tsa tsona ke tse di tshwanang le di crash. When Matima was referring to ECD, o ne a bua ka di crash. So the National Development Agency does grant funds to the crash, but we also do, that is for early childhood development as a program, but we also do food security. So in our food security programs, re bereka ka di non-profit organizations tse leng hore batho ba ira farming. We also work with cooperatives, which are organizations that are formed by five or more members that have a goal of doing something together, finding solutions within their communities together. And I think as the NDA today, we are privileged to be part of this because firsthand, we get to be here and hear what are the challenges and how can we best collaborate with this community in trying to solve some of those problems through the interventions that we have. Now, we also have capacity building. DSD covered the registration part of it, where this is the process that one needs to take in order to register a non-profit organization. At the NDA, we have training around proper understanding of that and implementing of some of the provisions that are within the Act. So we have an NPO compliance training where we sit you down for a whole entire week and we take you through how do you run a non-profit organization and how do you do that within the confines of the law. Renale, other interventions, key being financial management. So we know that I think earlier on, there was a mention of funding or resources being one of the needs that you have. But the challenge with that is that at times we get the money, but we don't know how to use the money. So we do have an intervention that takes you through on how to budget, how to use the money, and how to successfully reach the goal that you had initially in trying to solve whatever problem that was there. So as Mematima said earlier, we are in Bramfontein. However, our offices are mobile. So if you need us, you can contact us. We will make sure that we leave our contact details with the center here so that each time, but I take it that from here, we are starting a partnership in working with civil society organizations here. So our contact details will be there, and as and when you need us in the communities, we will make our way here to see to it that we assist you with whatever it is that is within our mandate as the NDA to assist you. We thank you.
Okay, you've heard that the partnership is also about how do we make sure that our communities are able to stand up for themselves. Nobody's going to come and do it for you. You heard that Motele Konen, so this is the time. But I'm going to call the Amir of this home that we are in, Amir and Tomani, to come and tell us more about what the community wants, because he engages with the community all the time. So, Mushapele Yatla, to welcome him.
نعم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Dear brothers and sisters, Abu Mama, Nabu Baba, Nabu Puti, Nabu Sisi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sanbonani, Ndi machero ni kana ni masiare zwino. Ni masiare. No voani. Siabo. I just want to be the mouthpiece of the community at this point, because I was born and I grew up in this community. So ngizokhuluma ngesilungu ukuthi uDeputy Minister kwazi ukungizwa ukuthi ngithini. The community of Winterveldt is categorized as the underprivileged community. And Deputy Minister, I would like to table a few issues that are of imperative. In particular, the issues surrounding the individuals in the community and the issues surrounding the organizations of our communities. Winterveldt, it's a community of diverse people. That's why I can clearly and confidently say that I speak all official languages of South Africa, including some foreign languages as well. Why? Because when we grow up, kunabo mama nabo baba here who are from Zimbabwe, others are from here, from Guyana, others are from KwaZulu-Natal and all of that. Of course, I was born and bred in a Zulu home, Zulu. Kodwa, we were taught in our home that we need to be welcoming to everyone. Now, the people will attest with me. I grew up in a community center, meaning my home was a home for everyone. Abaning niyazangit, Ekaya was a home for everyone. So just to make you understand, Deputy Minister, that we are not doing this as a program or a project, but we are doing this because we were prepared from the young age to make sure that we take care of the communities that we live in. So we were clearly mentored from our homes. Ukuthi umuntu uyanakekelwa, into mayikhona siyayishare, and all of that. So with the help of Allah, we've managed to establish this center, this humble institution of ours, which over the years, it has managed to graduate more than 100,000 youth. We have the boxes in them, Deputy Minister, for database, in case somebody doesn't believe it. From 2019 to date, we've graduated more than 100,000 youth. But we've been disappointed, Deputy Minister. And I'm tabling these issues without any fear or favor, because I'm here to stand for the people that every day they come here with different problems. They come to us. We are not an organization that is stationed in some suburb with an office, and then we only go occasionally to the community. But we are a community, we are here. When people have problems, bezala giti, every day. We are not sitting in some office somewhere. We are here with the people. And we work very closely together with councillors such as our Honorable Councillor Lerato. And sometimes we wouldn't even know what manje senza njani. Councillor Lerato will pass people over there, leadership, see what you can do, Ngapo. Because why? We are lacking resources. We have organizations, more than 100 organizations in this community who don't get any support. And I say this without any doubt. We would like to question the NDA with respect. Uguti, how many organizations in Winterveldt are you benefiting in this community? We have Amakrech, our Mikuku, our crèches, our ECDs are sex. Our children are sleeping, and Winterveldt is very hot. You know, Guti, somehow, you know, I measure Winterveldt with some of the Middle East countries sometimes. It's very hot. You find, Guti, our ECD, Ikreshetu, Umkuku. No support they're getting. Secondly, we have a problem with many of our community members as organization leaders, whereby you have 2,000 rand, abai donated, 2,000 rand they collect, you collect 2,000 rand. After you collect 2,000 rand, and then you have this situation where you are told you must comply as an NPO. Remember, this time around, I'm on this side of the community. Take it very progressive. When now I have only 2,000 rand, I have two choices. I either buy impupu neshibo, ukuthi I must support my ECD children and I must support my orphans, or I take that same money and give it to a lawyer or a consultant to make me compliant. So it's very difficult for us to comply when they don't have the support. Deputy Minister, and we thank you that you have the determination and the passion for the people, and we know that. For some of us who have interacted with you on a personal level, we know the type of passion you have for our people in this country, and we thank you for that and all that you have done for our country. But now we are saying, hence being motivated and inspired by that particular passion, we are coming back to you and saying we are appealing to the department that we have a problem of compliance in our communities, not because we want to be incompliant, but because we don't have money to be able to pay for the compliance. Even the financial report we are talking about, we don't have money to pay accountants to do our books. As now, mad. The money that we have is money for food, for our children and our orphanages. So that's our priorities. Winterveldt is one of the most disadvantaged communities. We are your beneficiaries, Deputy Minister. Majority of us, I can say to you with confidence, 90% of the community in Winterveldt are all beneficiaries of the Department of Social Development. But now we are saying again, this cannot be continuing. We must make sure that that number, that percentage reduces. And by doing that is by upskilling each other in the community. But now as organizations of the community, many of us, we have applied to be training providers with CETAs and all of that. But we don't get approved. Why? Because one of the issues is compliance. So we are appealing to the Minister, Guti, there must be some sort of a collaborative way in which we can be qualifying, Uguti, we must train our people. And we really thank organizations that came out from outside. I would personally like to thank Childline Gauteng for coming in and saying, Guti, we understand, we see the condition of the community. Here is 110 social workers that are giving psychosocial support to the community free of charge. Please clap hands for Childline Gauteng. We need social workers. That's Deputy Minister. We have problems. And another thing is we have our children that we have at least tried to go and train to be social workers and social auxiliary workers. But our siblings, they are not working. They are here. Many of our children, we have trained them to be social workers and social auxiliary workers, but they don't get opportunities. On the one end, Tina, we have problems. Every day in this center, everybody can attest to that. We have many people, hundreds of people come here and seek assistance. Some of them not even nice, and I'll share one story that I've shared before. Another time, I was sitting here, and House Dockers. I think they were busy with the session of counseling. We do counseling every day here. We have different problems. This guy comes in, he sits there at the reception area where he's waiting. I get to go to the next social worker because it's very minimal. We don't have resources of social workers. So this one started ending up saying, yeah, Yazin, Azala, he comes here by the window. When the counseling session is on, he knocks. Why? It is because we have minimum resources. If we can have that social auxiliary worker from our community, to see which are the cases that are very sensitive and which ones are not. That is the type of support we need from the Department of Social Development. Uguti, enhance us, capacitate us in order for us to better serve our communities. This is what we need. We need support of social workers, and not to go to social workers, we are going to go and fetch them from there. Ubabuki Filo is from this community. These social workers who are here about talkers and others are from this community. We are saying we have trained social workers and social auxiliary workers that we ask to be in-house into the department. Uguti, they must help our people. You can see you don't need to be a rocket scientist. We are a struggling community. At least there must be hope at one aspect of something. This is what we are appealing. And then moving forward, we have an issue here in our community of lack of resources for our ECDs. Because once abantwana bethu baya guma crash angasi well capacitated, what type of society are we breeding tomorrow? Because there must be a society that will take us out of this problem that we are in. And we prepare them from there. So when the preparation parts of things are not secured, how are we going to guarantee that we will have a better society tomorrow? We are not happy with the conditions we are living in. And we are not saying that we want handouts. We are saying we can help ourselves out, but we need the support and the resources to push us out. Another issue is that I'm at 350. Here we have a lot of 350 stories. People will come here in the morning. Yeah, mfenyi ya mahlabo. Ingakonamela nakelate 350 yaka kwa. The person we give him money for transport. He goes for the 350. When he reaches there, I don't know, but we hear from them. They are saying, hey, 350 yaka yatsena. I said, Netina. Why ning paying at Ankulminto Ningayas? Hey, but no, 350 yaka. Hey, it's not in and all of that. So we need to understand, what is this 350 story? How is it streamlined? So that we know we mustn't be all over the place. You know, in our community, another issue that we have, even load shedding, when it was still there, which I think it's now not there, or Ikonanyan or something. Well, we are not told, in this community, we are not told anything. Baskatela electricity, they cut water, they do everything. So at least all we are asking for, just tell us what is happening where. So we are asking clarity. In Daba, Yama 350, good angena nini. Ngobabanya SARS pen. That other issue to be aligned. And then we want to know how many organizations in Winterveldt are supported by the Department of Social Development. We are not cornering the department. We are saying we are here. We are people. Many of our people here, they don't have a source of income. And they have organizations that are struggling. So that's all we are asking. If we don't need to say the names of the organizations. Just say there are 3 organizations or 4 organizations. Because from what I assessed, being in this community for more than 10 years, doing work, I have not seen an organization that is supported by the Department of Social Development in this community. Or maybe bakona. Because here they are, okay, okay, I apologize. No, hey, but majority or supportive department or siabo. So those are the issues that I think, Deputy Minister, with humbleness as a community, we just want clarity to say, how can we navigate those issues? Because really, our circumstances and conditions are very bad. And then us, the community leaders, Yiti, who sit here, and if I can show everyone here the reports that I receive every Friday from our home-based nurses. And I would like to send a very great thank you to the Department of Health, Gauteng, for providing us 13 home-based nurses. These 13 home-based nurses, they go into houses. Sometimes Utola in the house, the grandmother will not have food. Because those nurses, sometimes they are accompanied by the social workers. When you reach there, Umama or Ukoko has to take the chronic tablets. But there's no food in the house. So they come back here, and then we get them vouchers, we give them groceries, but it runs out. So that type of support will also be very appreciated. Ourselves here, the last month, we did more than 2,500 vouchers and groceries, but it's still not enough. So we need some sort of a sustainable support while we are sorting out ourselves. So that's my humble appeal to the department, and please forgive me if I said anything wrong. La in the community, when they come, they'll have issues, they always talk to me. And I would like to thank the South African Muslim Council, all the ulama, the great scholars, for making this event happen collectively with ourselves as a member of the South African Muslim Council. And we are active across the whole country, and we humbly appeal to Deputy Minister that all our other affiliates across all provinces, they are doing similar work. And we ask you to consider in the department that you visit some of the provinces so that we can have this type of outreach engagement with the South African Muslim Council. Jazakumullahu khairan, siyabonga kakhulu, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah, Amir. Jazakallah. Limutwile, you've heard him. Jy het al gehoor. So this is the appeal, and we hope that we're going to be different people doing different things and also helping our communities. But each one of us have the ability to actually make change. We cannot be waiting for somebody outside to come and help us to change ourselves. If we need to make food gardens in our homes, those are the things that we need to do so that we're not buying tomatoes, spinach, beans, we're growing those things ourselves. So I'm going to ask the minister to come and actually talk to us. Please give him a welcome. Clap all your hands.
Can be a hands-free for you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. A very good afternoon, Bolweni, to all of you, and a special salam and greetings to the leadership of the South African Muslim Council, affiliates, leaders and members of NPOs, community leaders, and the community at its entirety. I would like to appreciate this opportunity of being part of this important engagement. The South African Muslim Council has shown leadership. They have shown active citizenship. President Mandela, when he took office, he instructed his ministers and deputy ministers to engage with the community. And many of them did, and he himself engaged with the community. And last week, the cabinet decided that we're not doing enough to engage with the community. So we are waiting for a cabinet directive to instruct us to meet with the community at least every month. We have many ministers and deputy ministers, and they must lead us together with our ward councillors who's on the ground. And that's why I'm very happy to have our ward councillor here. We are here as a Department of Social Development. When Imam Rahim contacted me, he told me that I know there's little time, but we know you in Pretoria. You cannot leave Pretoria without engaging us. So I told him, no problem. I will meet, and in my mind, I thought I will meet with 5 or 6 people, and here's nearly 1,000 people. The barakat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of 6 people, brought nearly 1,000 people here to this inspirational mosque, which all of us in South Africa admire and look up to. So I decided that let me bring all of government to Winterveldt. But 4 days was not enough. And charity begins at home. So I thought, let me bring everyone from the Department of Social Development to Winterveldt. So you have SASA here, you have NDA here, you have leaders of the Department of Social Development here. We are all here. And we accepted your invitation, which you gave us 3 days ago. We are here. I think that is what President Mandela wanted. When the community invites you, go out of your way to make it happen. And I would like to thank all of DSD for the special effort they made. They came from different provinces because they had other programs. Our security in DSD told me that if you want to have an event, you must give us 2 weeks' notice. They did it in 3 days. They came here, they came to sweep out the place, not with a broom, but with security equipment. I think when we leave, I'm going to ask them, please sweep the place. So we are here as the Department of Social Development, responding to a call made by the South African Muslim Council leadership, interfaith leaders. And let me congratulate the Roman Catholic community. You have a new Pope, and he's going to bring peace to the world because he's in America, and maybe his prayers will reach the heart of Donald Trump, who wants to have regime change in South Africa and let the Afrikaners rule us again. The stakeholders of government have also demonstrated their interest and passion in serving communities and promoting a better livelihood for those who are marginalized and vulnerable due to poverty. Let me address one of the main concerns of Imam Abdul Rahim when he was younger and I met him. I told him, I make dua that you become the mayor of Tshwane. A young person, I told him, I can see the nur in your face. I can see your passion to serve Winterveldt. And the best way is you must be the mayor. And he thought I was talking, I don't know what. How can I identify that he will be the mayor of Tshwane? Inshallah, Amin, he will be the mayor of Tshwane. You must support him. If he needs any help, we will assist him. I must say DSD has a cordial relationship with the religious sector and continue to engage this sector towards working together in building a better South Africa for all living it. Now let me talk about compliance. This Imbizo, Imam, with respect to you, Imbizo must be under a tree. But we will accept your apology. We must be under a tree and have an Imbizo. That's the right Imbizo. With regard to compliance, I would like to ask 4 people to come to the stage. Salim Hassan, if he's here. Saidi from Limpopo, if he's here. Professor Harun, if he's here. And also my private secretary, Nunku. Because I'm giving them a task now. I'm asking the 4 of them for a Monday to be available to assist you with all your compliance problems. So Salim is my outreach officer. He must cancel all his other work and come out to Winterveldt and say, how can we help you with compliance? And then Professor Harun, who's my head of office, he must speak to our legal department. They must make our resources available to my team. These team are from my political office to make sure that we help you with compliance. It cannot be you are our beneficiaries. I know that every month we try our best that your money is paid, but we must do much more. And if compliance is one of your problems, let us take the bull by the horns, and my team, you can see them. You can see their faces. Their names are in the box to help with compliance. So, Sadie from Limpopo, he's got a degree in police work. His experience. You must make sure you help the people here to comply. Not with the law, but to comply to get funding. And Nunku, I want you to report to me every week how many people we have assisted with compliance. So inshallah, we have to be solution orientated. You are released, think about compliance, please. We have heard that people go hungry at night. When I went to El Dorado Park to assist the Minister of Police to eradicate crime in El Dorado Park, I had a chance to speak, and I responded to the people who said that they go hungry at night. There's no reason to go hungry at night. When a child is born, and the new policy of social development is, even if the child is in the mother's stomach, we must give a child support grant until the child is 18. Now, I know 600 Rand is not a lot of money, but that is for food. Not to buy nappies, that's very expensive. My mother was an activist like Winnie Mandela. They were friends, but she used to wash my nappies. But not my father. He said, I'm not going to wash nappies. And my wife tried me to wash nappies. I said, I'm not going to wash nappies. I'd rather pay you to wash the nappies. So a Muslim man must pay the woman if she does that work. If a woman breastfeeds, the Muslim man must pay for the milk. Imam, how many liters of milk did you drink from your mother? You must pay 20 Rand a liter, pay her back. Julius Malema says, pay back the money. You must pay back the money. Every liter of milk that the mother breastfeeded, the men must pay. And we are all in arrears. We must pay back the money. And if the woman washes the nappies, we must pay. We must wash half of the nappies. So you must pay back the money. So I'm very happy that we have people here from the Men's Parliament observing what is happening. it was Chief Albert Luthuli that said fatherhood is very important. And men must take their responsibility to nafaka their women and their children. For every day that you did a nafaka, you must pay back the money. And that is what I will say in the men's parliament. With the deputy president, I'm in charge of the men's parliament. So coming back to the question that there are children who are hungry at night, I just said that we pay a child support grant for food. We can't pay for everything. So no child should go hungry. And then when a child goes to university or college, his grant stops. But we pay nearly R250,000 every year for him to study, pay for his fees, pay for hostel accommodation. We even pay for a dignity pack for sanitary pads. I don't know why the boys also get that allowance. If they must use that money, buy the sanitary pads and give it to their sisters. They mustn't go and buy cigarettes with that money. But my problem is that many of these 18-year-olds who can't get to university, who can't get to college, they don't get the grant and they can't get the job. We need to make a plan for them to have a sustainable livelihood. So I'm going to speak to the leadership of NDA, and I'm very happy that the manager in charge of Swani is here. She's already done some work here. We must do more work. Government is partnering with Agri SA, and they have a home garden pack. And that pack costs R300, and it's the seeds and the fertilizer. So they told me, DM, if we give that pack to anyone, they can, and they harvest, they can make R3,000. So I told them, I don't believe you. They said, we will come to your house in Pretoria, which is opposite President Ramaphosa's guest house, and we will plant, and you will take that harvest and sell it to the president for R3,000 for his kitchen. So if that project is successful, we want to have 1 million home packs. So 1 million children, when they leave school and can't get to university or college, 2 years before that, they must start the home garden. We will train them. You just need a 4x4. Now, Imam, that's not a car. The 4x4 is 4 square meters by 4 square meters on the ground. So if there's not enough land, we must expropriate land with no compensation. Because it's only a small piece. I'm busy helping the president in Paarl, Drakensberg, in Cape Town. And there are people living on 500 square meters. And the farmer wants to kick them off the land, and their ancestors were living there for 200 years. So I'm busy in court to expropriate that piece of land with no compensation, because a farmer has 100 hectares, 1,000 hectares. What is 500 square meters? So you must make dua that we are successful there. So the home garden project is, I'm going to wait for my harvest And if the president's guest house is prepared to buy my vegetables for 3,000 rand, your children in high school can also sell it to the community. But we will try and get someone to buy it from them even before they plant it. So there's two solutions now. Because Imam, you told me, please don't come if you can't come with solutions. So I brought two solutions. Over the past years as DSD, we've had numerous dialogues with interfaith leaders, including SAMC, South African Muslim Council, to collaborate efforts towards addressing social ills by our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of South African Muslim Council and its contribution towards building a caring and socially cohesive community cannot be overemphasized. Active citizenry. We are here today as government to witness your contribution of supporting communities in action and to appreciate your efforts in implementing social interventions to complement government efforts, especially where we cannot reach government alone, is not able to address all social challenges. Don't ask government what you will do for us. Tell them what you're going to do for them. And by organizing this, Imam, you've set a very good example. However, we did highly rely on partners like yourselves who took upon themselves to address the plight of the poor living within your communities. Yesterday, I worked with 300 community-based organizations in Benoni to strengthen their efforts. And some of them are only 5 in a cooperative. And they did good work and we recognized them and gave them certificates. And some of them brought the products that they make. Now, my wife gives me 3,000 rand a month. Imam, how much do you get? So I use my 3,000 rand to buy the vegetables and the jerseys. And I also bought a shawl for her, but she must pay me for that because I spend from the 3,000 rand. So this also applies to the important role by NPOs in the space in providing programs aimed at strengthening families and communities. We really appreciate all these efforts. Like I said, over the last 2 days, I participated in the National Development Agency's 2-day conference cementing relations with civil society organizations. I want to tell the representatives of NDA from Gauteng, at that conference, your department, your leaders made a commitment to eradicate poverty. Your job is now to implement the mandate of your leaders. You must eradicate poverty in Winterveldt. That is your job. But I'm not going to ask you to come in front. You were here before. Your job is no child must go hungry. No old elder person must go hungry. Even the men mustn't go hungry. Winterveldt must have zero hunger. Repeat after me. Winterveldt must have zero hunger. Thank you very much. Be that as it may, it is our responsibility to respond quickly when such critical stakeholders make a call for support from government and my ministry in particular. The engagement today is highly appreciated, and it clearly demonstrates your commitment in working hand in hand with government, improving the plight of our vulnerable and poor in this country. I would like to thank the inspiration from the professor. I know him for 50 years. I was thinner than him. Professor, you nearly didn't recognize me when you walked in the office. Although I played rugby and cricket and table tennis, and I threw the javelin and the shot put. But those are the good old days. And I want to tell our elderly persons, once a year, we have our Olympic Games for you. I don't know which province you're going to have it, but Donku must make sure that Winterveldt sends a team to participate in the Olympic Games for older persons. You must be active. You must move. As you know, the mandate of DSD entails sustainable and resilient families and communities as enshrined in our Constitution. Attainment of this mandate requires active involvement of all citizens. South African Muslim Council and other NPOs present today are at the coalface. They are there in communities and are the first port of call to address unfavorable social conditions. I went to visit Indonesia. 200 million people. And many villages, they don't even have one warm plate of food a week. And then the community-based organizations, which many of you have, they started helping the learners at school, the elderly people, and their families. And I was introduced to the civil society organizations in Indonesia, and they were 3 million. They even have their own university to help give them skills, and that I'm very happy that we have such a facility here like we have in Indonesia. They even have their own cooperative bank. And Imam, every lounge is like a bank amongst those 3 million community and civil society-based organizations. The solution for government, because our economic growth is only 1%, while we're trying our best, and we had a meeting of the Leaders Forum 2 days ago where President Ramaphosa gave us supper, we have a plan to reach 10%. No one believes we can achieve it. And if we achieve 10% economic growth, we'll have 7 years of prosperity, like the Bible says, in Winterveldt and South Africa. We need 7 years of prosperity. So I hope that NDA will up their game, and we want 1,000 civil society organizations in Winterveldt, even if you're 5. When I was in Libya, in what year was I in Libya? Any case, I was there many years ago, and after their freedom, they had street committees, which we now call civil society organizations, and I saw how they operated. So we by establishing 1,000 CBOs, only 5 people to form one, even if it's one street or one family, so we can work together to achieve your objective to have 0 poverty in Winterveldt and 7 years of prosperity. So we've seen in our civil society and India the barakat of our imams and their du'as, inshallah, Allah will accept. They've all doubled their effort in taking up the task of building families as they enrich them in their spiritual journey. Your efforts are commendable and visible as you intervene to mitigate against poverty and malnutrition, gender-based violence. Now, men, we can reduce gender-based violence if you nafaka your woman. You must nafaka your woman, and you know what I'm talking about. And you're not doing it. So gender-based violence, family problems, moral degeneration, HIV, and many others, which forms a core mandate of DSD as well. One of the jobs for the civil society-based organizations, even if you're just 5 in a cooperative, is to help government to fight TB. So I joined the Minister of Health not long ago in Zanin, Greater Zanin, in Limpopo, and we launched a program to test 5 million people for TB. I want you to help government to achieve that goal, because if we can test and treat 5 million people in 1 year for TB, we'll have less HIV/AIDS problems. And more of you will live longer. Inshallah, you will live longer. But you must test for TB. So with the minister, I went to different houses and we tested. So there is funding available for this. And we must find a way to get Winterveldt to test everyone for TB. So that is the third solution. We don't want you to die. You teach them, you train them, they mustn't die, and they must live for as long as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, the pace at which families' conditions are deteriorating and the alarming rate of gender-based violence should pose a serious concern for all of us. This situation is exacerbated by deepening poverty levels and use of alcohol and substance abuse that has eroded positive human values in our society. So substance abuse is a big problem. Drugs is a big problem. Alcohol is a big problem. Dacha is a big problem. So one of my delegations as Deputy Minister is to develop a 5-year master plan to prevent our young children from taking drugs, from drinking alcohol. So we want to focus on our learners in the high schools and even before that. Those who are on drugs, according to the Minister of Health, waste of time to assist them. Rather use the money to prevent others from taking drugs. Because once you take drugs, 1 out of 1,000 people will be successful. So it's not value for money to look after those who made the wrong decision to take drugs. Let us prevent drugs. And Imam, I would like to hear your proposals for the 5-year drug master plan. So the situation calls for government like yourselves to tackle these social ills, to create conditions of prosperity in our communities. Today's visit has provided an opportunity for us as government to appreciate the good work that has been started and identify areas of collaboration to derive maximum benefits for the communities. So let me tell you some of the programs that the government of national unity feels very strong about. Let me also tell you that the 10 leaders of the government of national unity met, and we're very strong. Don't listen to what you read in the newspapers. South Africa has a very, very, very strong government of national national unity, a very strong one. The government of national unity, we will serve the next 4 years, no matter what anyone does. So that's why we can ask you to support these programs. And in 4 years' time, you can tell us whether we achieved our objectives. So there are skills programs which you are already doing here for prevention and dealing with HIV/AIDS and drugs. Gender-based violence interventions. Family strengthening interventions. So I am going to Delft in Cape Town. Delft is, you can put Soshanguve, Cape Flats, Aldarabie Park together. The crime there is 10 times worse in Delft. So we're going there to launch our Family Matters program because we need to strengthen families. DSD cannot achieve anything if we don't have the support of the families. So we have programs for older persons, and I want to tell the older persons, the gogos, the umis sitting here, that you now have your own act of parliament. The children have the act of parliament, but the older people don't have an act of parliament. We now have one. And that act of parliament gives you a lot of rights. And the president and the minister has appointed me to be in charge of that older person act. So we're going to have programs in that correction. Now, all the above services, there are many more. We've heard about the NPO funding policy. Thank you very much. So we all know that up to this day, our government is still fighting the impact of the apartheid regime. And the Afrikaners want to make South Africa an apartheid state. And they want to put Israel in charge so they can kill us like they killed the people in Gaza and take over the whole country. They must not take over Winterveldt. You mustn't allow them to come to Winterveldt. Towards demonstrating government commitment.
Sorry, singaqali le ndaba. Mangube ukuthi kunendaba ebalekile oyikhulumayo iya ngaphandle ngoba uphazamisa thina esizwelele uDeputy Minister. Siyabonga.
So we are here today as DSD as a first step towards strengthening collaboration towards coming up with interventions aimed at promoting the culture of positive values. In closing, I would like to encourage community leaders to continue playing the important role of supporting our families and communities in all the manner that deem fit. This is not a promise. We are engaging with Vodacom, MTN, Chelsea, that they must give DSD 20 million SIM cards with free data. So you can access the services of DSD and later all government services. The gogos and the elderly people, you must ask your children to teach you the internet, to teach you WhatsApp, to teach you Twitter. I want to see all of you on Instagram and smile. Your invitation is highly commendable, and as government, particularly by DSD, whose role is to build sustainable and cohesive communities, We are opening our doors to partner with you in your endeavors of building healthy, functional communities. Winterveldt, DSD is opening our doors. Shukran, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Sanibonani. Bathe ngichaze ngicele bonke abantu ukuthi baze bazochaza ukuthi uminister mekathini ngoba sometimes ukukipita akipiteki sometimes uyawuzwa legama lokuqala lesibili nesithathu hayi alihlangani. So I'll just quickly summarize quickly what the Honorable Deputy Minister has said. Firstly, a few points that came out ukuthi unfuna Instagram. Yeah, unfuna your post on Instagram. And then Deputy Minister says that Vodacom it's in the process of pledging more than how many minutes? More than 20 million SIM cards with data. Data is the new water, is the new food. So really, Honorable Deputy Minister, we hope that our community is going to be of priority, inshallah. Thank you. Second thing that the Deputy Minister has mentioned is the agricultural side of things. They are doing what they call 4x4. A 4x4 is 4x4. There is on it. How many square meters are you walk? 1, 2, 3. So it's 4x4. So the government in the Department of Social Development, kune program abayenzayo ukuthi bakhona ukusupporta i4x4 bane pack yabo le iletha amasata amamenyoro na yonke lento le bayihlanganisa bazonikani abantu. So iWinterveldt say right lapho. So select phela abahlonishwa laba uDeputy Minister okhulume nabo ukuthi from Monday bayenze sure ukuthi siba compliant ngama organization wethu ukuze sikwazi ukuthola leyo funding leyo support for into zethu. Nayizwa ngithi yes into enye ayikhulumile uDeputy Minister ukuthi indlala fanele ibe ku0 la eWinterveldt. And athi idepartment iyoyenza sure ukuthi isebenzisana ne-South African Muslim Council, isebenzisana ne-community ukuthi sikhona ukwenza ama-program wonke lawa yenziwa i-department akhona ukubenefita abantu bethu, not only Winterveldt but South Africa yonke jikelele la sinama-branch we-South African Muslim Council. Mshayeleni izandla phela. Singenile, singaphakathi. And then uDeputy Minister ukhulume indaba yokuthi masi community fanele sibambisane and amongst thina abantu abadala fanele kube ukuthi baya joina ini ama Olympic. Just to mention to you, Deputy Minister, we do have a group here of our gogos. If you can go to our page, we have a partnership with the Sefako Makatu Health and Science University. Hence, we have a clinic here. So they come now and then to test them. The gogos were making us do some exercises. So we are coming back with that cup, Minister. From Winterveldt, our Kokovetu, Bayoilanda, that cup. So we do have those activities, and thank you for the opportunity. Also, uDeputy Minister, ukhulume ngokuthi kubaluleke kangakanani ukuthi sibe ama organization a comply. Angithi masilana kunabanye sinama creche, abanye sinani ama organization wama skills, abanye people living with disabilities into ezinjalo. So uDeputy Minister ati Monday uyenza sure. So Deputy Minister, I'm not sure that Monday we will have the officials in the office or we'll have the officials in our community. That's the only part we are not sure about. So we will have to we'll have to get some sort of clarity to say, where will the officials be ready to help us? So Deputy Minister ati, masteta ugenza i-compliance yethu. Bayoyenza sure ukuthi ama organization wethu ayafandiwa. Athola efasi. Fansere kriye efasi. who re konwetsang to serve our community better. And NDA, it's here, it's prepared to assist us. And thank you very much for extending your hand and saying, we are here and prepared to assist you so that you qualify for the resources allocated for the people who are from the disadvantaged communities. And Menkela Guti, please don't be distracted because they are already starting to serve the food. Ne? Distracted. So, Deputy Minister, what we want to say as the community of Winterveldt and as the South African Muslim Council, with affiliates across the whole country in all 9 provinces, we say we extend gratitude to yourself and your team for moving with speed in such a short space of time. Yes, Deputy Minister, we knew you were around and we had to find a way to speak to you because we know what burns in your heart, and it is the community, in particular, the indigenous communities of this country, that you've always stood up for. When it was not fashionable, many people might not know, but when it was not fashionable, you're one of those people that stood up for the truth and for justice in our communities and societies. And you, through your organization, were one of those organizations that made sure they cater for the NPO and NGO departments. So really, we really want to thank you for that, extending your hand to us. And we hope, Uguti, the community also will be part and parcel of the initiatives that you have just confirmed for us. Thank you very much. Now, I'll hand it over to the Honorable MC, and then she will continue with the program. And then the program for the people to be able to engage directly with the officials, inshallah. Then we have one more speaker, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Okay, one of the things that needs to happen, Minister, I think we'd have to buy them a thing before we leave here. We need a collection to just get this process going properly, right? So thank you very much. You heard the Minister, eh? He said that the goggles, hello, can the people be quiet at the back? What's going on at the back? Food, you want to eat now? Okay, so just give us another 5 minutes. I am sure that we will let you eat. We know you're hungry, you've been here for a long time. So please just give us your ears and just be patient with us. Just another 5 more minutes, inshallah, you will get your food. We know the children are also hungry. So but just to say to the Minister, thank you again, and also Jazakallah khair. And also you heard, Gogos, we're going to the Olympics. Hey, Gogos, Winterveldt, going to the Olympics. So please, now we're going to do the closure, and inshallah, the closure is going to be done by Saeed Mufti. It's Mufti Saeed Ngani from KZN all the way. So Jazakallah, he is here, he's going to do the closure, and then you can have your food. The food's not going to run away. I promise you, it will be there for you. Jazakallah khair, Mufti.
Sanbonani, Sanbona, Nijani, ngiyazi ngilambile, kodwa ngibuza impilo, ninjani? Nami ngilambile, ngisuke KZN, ngisuke ngo-1 sekuseni ngidumisa imoto. Njengoba ngifika la, uNkulunkulu ungigcine kaze ngafika la. I won't be long, ngoba ngiyabona ukuthi between me, phakathi kwami nani, ne-lunch, yimina manje, yimina umuntu ovimbile manje before kudliwe. So I won't be long. Actually, I had prepared a program which was quite different from the program le engiyibona manje. Ngesingami bengicabanga ukuthi umfundisi sizofica abafundisi, sifica kodwa ngiyajabula kakhulu ukuthi sibona ominister, deputy minister nama-government departments and nabazali bethu abanye abakhona la. Engingakusho from my side, okokuqala nje okubalekile engifuna ukusho ukuthi ngibingelele ngeyibingelelo ze-Islam ezithi assalamu alaikum. Ukuthula makube nani. May peace be upon you. Igama lami nguMongi nguThulani wakancane Isibongo from KZN eHarding. I am so honored ukuthi ngibe kule gathering where kukhona uMinister, Deputy Minister kanye nawo ama-department akhona e-government. Engifuna ukusho kumbalwa, engizokusho kumbalwa kakhulu. Okokuqala ukuthi leli point locela ukuthi ningene kakhulu la emqondweni wethu. Okokuqala ukuthi usuku nosuku, each and every day, fanele simbonge uNkulunkulu for giving us life. Fanele simenze njani? uNkulunkulu for what? I'll just make a short example before I sit down. Just make a short example. If umuntu umafika kuwena athi we want to offer you 5 million rand, sifuna ukuba 5 million rand, will you take it? Sizothatha ngithi, because we all need money. Sizothatha ngithi, yes, we'll take it. But actually, on one condition, that tomorrow you will never wake up. Sasa, you will never wake up. Ungawuthatha 5 million rand? Ungawuthatha? So, based on this, we must thank uNkulunkulu umvelinqangi ukuthi every day he is giving us what? Life. uNkulunkulu usinikeza ini? Angithi sonke sike sibone oma-TV nakuma-phone izinto ezenzeka ePalestine, angithi kwenzekani ePalestine? Abantu bayafa daily, angithi asithi free Palestine, free Palestine, from the river till the sea, Palestine will be free. Nathi sasicindezelekile, nathi sasinjani? Sasi under apartheid nathi, angithi, but one day saba free, angithi. Into esisele manje, only one thing is economic freedom. The political freedom sasiyitholile. Into esisele manje yini? Economic freedom. So we thank the government uthi issue from the parliament and it comes down and interacts with us, the ordinary people. Ngicela sishayele izandla government. And lastly, only 3 advices. I just want to give 3 advices to myself. First, because my ears are much closer than my mouth. Ngaqale ngigive wonke umuntu advice kodwa ngaziniki mina. And give advices kumfundisi uAmir Sab, umfundisi nabo bonke abafundisi abakhona and all leaders. To be a leader, this is an advice kuma leaders. All of us jobasila siyama leaders. Just a small hadith, prophet ukuthula kube kuyena Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prophet wokugcina, prophet Muhammad akayena uNkulunkulu, asimthandazi, akayena uNkulunkulu, sithandaza uNkulunkulu, prophet ungcwatshiwe lapha eMadina. Last year ngangile ngeMadina ngabona ithuna lakhe, asimthandaza amaSulumane amthandaza Muhammad, naye wayithandaza uNkulunkulu. So prophet Muhammad ukuthula kube kuyena, he gave an advice. The advice engifuna ukuthi nginikeze wonke umuntu okhona la, everybody. Prophet wathi kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun yawm al-qiyamah an ra'iyatikum. Sonke, everybody, sonke njengoba sila, umnyama, umhlophe, uyisiduka, uyislender, umdala, umncane, you black, you white, everyone here, we are shepherds. Everybody is a shepherd. Wonke umuntu umelusi. Ubaba umelusi ekhaya. Uma ngekho ubaba umama uyasala abe umelusi ekhaya. Ikhansela endaweni umelusi. Uminister umelusi. All of us, the government, the president, so we are shepherds. And on the last day of judgment, God Almighty, He will ask us, how did you look after your flock? How do we look after our flocks? So with these few words, Fanele sazi as we're going back at home, sibonga ugovernment uthi ukhona nama-departments kulinga okuzoxhaswa abantu ukuthi abarun ama-crash. For instance, as I'm standing in front of you, nami I'm running a preschool, running crash. It's 9 years running a crash. But I hope, I've seen the deputy minister, maybe my crash will also get support, because 9 years we never got any support from government. But I hope, because the government has come down from Parliament Yala, and all others who are running NPO, NGOs, they'll get support. With these few words, I'm just asking everyone, all of us as shepherds, as leaders, never ever surround yourself with people who will not criticize you, with people who will not speak truth to you on your face. Ungahlali nabantu abashaya izandla nje kuphela, abashaya izandla abangakutsheli uma wrong. A lot of people has messed up impilo yabo into drugs, into crime, pregnancy, and all the social problems, because we surround ourselves with people who do not correct us. Lastly, I'm standing in front of you. I was in prison for armed robbery. I was sentenced 15 years in prison. 9 years. But through surrounding with wrong people, you'll end up in wrong places. But when in my parole, 2008, I decided, no, if I'm a Muslim, I want to surround myself with the right people. As a result of that, I became a counselor in my community. I became a deputy mayor in my community. I became a leader. Currently, I'm working with the Department of Transport in the Interfaith Department. This is an inspiration to everyone. Do not lose hope. But the most important thing, let us surround ourselves with people about those guide and who will tell the truth to us. Because if you get criticism, that's how you grow. If you don't get criticism, you can't grow. With these few words, we thank Nkulunkulu, the God Almighty, for bringing us here, and we hope that this program will definitely have an impact to change our lives. We thank the government, we thank the invitation again, Mfundisi, and most importantly, Mfundisi uyangikhumbuza bengisaba South African Muslim Council. I'm also a member of the South African Muslim Council. As I'm speaking here, standing here, I'm also standing on behalf of the South African Muslim Council. The South African Muslim Council is a group of abafundisi abamnyama from all tribes, indigenous. Then they created a group ukuze sikwazi ukuthi sishumayele abantu sibachazele ngeIslam emphakathini yethu in all provinces. We have 9 provinces. In each and every province we have abantu abasimele and abenza umsebenzi owenziwa nawo umfundisi. Nami endaweni yami we have programs acina afana njengalawa akhona. Deputy Minister, he knows sekwafika endaweni yami in ekhaya impela sekwafika before running the programs. So with these few words siyabonga, and ngizocela ukuthi ngishaye impempe manje ngithi free ilunch mfundisi.
Kwamanje abanye bazoya bathandaze, and then there will be those ones who will be here. Siyayivula manje bakunembuzo mhlawumbe lapho ebantwini, imbuzo ehlangabezane nendaba ze social development, osasa, imidende. Mina ngiyawuzwa mara nikhulumi ukuthi hey abayiphakamise le how. So the floor is open manje. Onombuzo ungaphakamisa isandla, and then bakhona ukuselecta. Then we would like to ask Mamadou, please come through to direct the questions on the ground. Awufuni abantu abafuni babuyele emuva bonke bana abafuni. Who's available to be able to streamline the questions to the president?